what's going on? It's your boy. I am back. And check it out. I know it's been a while. I know it's been a long time since we did any kind of video. So I wanted to do something, touch base with everybody. First and foremost, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know we did. We had at least, I don't know, maybe 35 people over. Nobody wore a mask. Everybody was coughing all over everybody. It was perfect. But we hand sanitized the turkey. We just doused it with Purell, and it was all good. But just kidding. I know some of you people out there would believe that. Damn fools. It's incredible though. Some people in the state or in the country are only allowed 6 people per household for the holidays. I don't get that. But apparently your governors can do 20 people and do whatever the hell they want. Says something right there. Speaking of, if you're a fan of the show, then you've heard me, at one point or another, reference this, the genocide in Rwanda. And I bring it up now because of the propaganda that was involved during that time. I know it's not the best way to start this out, but hey, it is. Just bear with me. So this country was about 90% illiterate, all right? And all they had was TV and radio. A vast majority had radio. So if you wanted any kind of news or anything like that, you were totally dependent upon this radio. And this one guy in particular, he's a piece of shit, Felician Kabuga. He owned the radio station and the TV station, the prominent one in that country. And he blasted all kinds of anti-Tutsi propaganda. And that led to the genocide as well. It truly helped it out. And he financed this to a degree. He was known for putting out crates of machetes out on the streets where the Hutus were. And they would use that against the Tutsis. So it was it's pretty crazy. Why do I bring it up? Because of the propaganda. All right. Because of that propaganda, you had the average Joe hating the average Joe, much like now, where you have the Trumpers and the non-Trumpers hating each other. And it's going back and forth, and it's pretty even in the dislike. And it's very much like that. It's the power of persuasion. It's the power of propaganda, which has been proven time and time again in history. And I don't know why nobody is using the 2 eyes, the 2 ears, and the brain that they have in order to figure this out. A big thing, a big hint is if I censor my opponent, there's only one reason for that. I want to control your thoughts. I want to control what is going into your head. I want to be in charge of that, which means you aren't. And people are getting censored a lot, especially on Facebook, on TV. I mean, who would have ever thought that they could censor a U.S. president, no matter who they were? Just think about that for a second. They censored a U.S. president from talking. All right? These are organizations which have been lying to us repeatedly. And now all of a sudden they're the organizations of truth and justice just overnight. It was pretty weird, pretty eye-opening to see all this. You got to look back in order to see forward, folks. But I found this pretty interesting. This happened in October where he got extradited, and he's being charged with all these things. But it should be huge news. It really should. But ironically, it's his tactics, the Nazis' tactics used throughout history that is being used now in order to control the masses. You separate and you control. And it's been proven effective throughout time in a lot of countries, folks, a lot of countries. All right. So I'm not no history expert. I'm not nothing. I'm just a guy who sits here, on the front porch of the world and watches what goes down and says, damn, that looks familiar. That's all I'm doing. But pretty crazy times, folks. It really is. And unfortunately, because of COVID, you don't have a lot of things open for the holidays. So if you guys have any suggestions to do anything, what are you guys doing? Normally, we would go out and, there's certain parts of the state where they really go all out for Christmas and they decorate and all that. But I don't know. Nowadays, everything's going to be closed. There's curfews. Would you believe that? Down in San Antonio, there's curfews from 10 to 5. So from 2200 down to 0500, you're not supposed to be out and about, I guess. But I called down there and wanted to see if the Riverwalk was going on, what they were doing, and I was told there was a curfew. So it just sounds crazy. COVID cases are on the rise, of course, because after the elections, all of a sudden, COVID hysteria comes out, and along with that, vaccine, things like that. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm saying there's an awful lot of propaganda behind it. Ebola didn't need propaganda. It just needed a picture of what it could do. COVID has had a whole propaganda team, a media site. It's had huge help. And you got to ask why. That most of the time that's a red flag, but hey, who am I? You know what I mean? Now that the elections, I don't know if they're over, if they're not, everybody's fighting them, everything. And that in itself was just a giant shit show. When you have the possibility of fraud, no matter what side it is, you need to stop everything and handle it, because no matter what side you're on, in the future, this could affect you as well. And then what are you going to do then? It was okay when your guy won, but it's not okay when the other guy wins. You see how that works? Rwanda, folks, look it up. I'm telling you. Yeah. Absolute craziness. You know what's even more crazier? Dallas Cowboys. What the hell kind of shit was that the other day during Thanksgiving? Was that even a game? Did they show up? Big Red throwing the ball to who? Everybody but the star. All right? I don't know. I'm just saying I'm a little bit dismayed. I'm a little bit torqued, I guess you could say. I don't know what the new terms are nowadays. Got to look up Urban Dictionary just to figure out what people are saying. Really crazy. Now, there's been talk about if Biden's president, what is there to expect? There's all these taxes and all that. My predictions right here, right now, we're going to go back to war with the Middle East. They're going to send troops out to stimulate the economy, not to bring freedom, folks, but to stimulate the economy. Unfortunately, at the price of U.S. lives. School shootings will return. Taxes will obviously go up. And a couple other things. I don't know what else this COVID is going to bring. Maybe mandatory vaccinations. Maybe not. I don't know. One of the best things to come out, though, in 2020, I became a grandfather. That's right, folks. I became a grandfather, beautiful granddaughter, and it's a crazy world. Crazy, crazy world. So hopefully we can educate more people, enlighten more people, get more people to read books, open their eyes and use their ears and see what's going on in the world. When I grew up, we had metal. We had metal music to fight the power, to question authority, to always ask why. Always. We were always told to ask why. And that was from my parents. It was from anybody seeking higher knowledge, I guess you could say. Anybody above Sports Illustrated magazine. Pretty crazy times. What are you guys doing for the holidays? Are you guys going to go out? You guys going to do anything? You got to uphold traditions. Cigar Chingon at gmail.com. You can get a hold of me and let me know what's going on, especially out there in San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, any other state, San Francisco. What's going on? What are you guys allowed to do? Is there curfews? Is there shutdowns? It's a pretty shitty time, folks. This should be one of the best times ever. It's the holidays, and this is when we all need to come together and just be one. You know what I mean? But is what it is. The Mandalorian, you guys watching The Mandalorian, had a very famous character come out in the last episode. I just saw it earlier today, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved the way they introduced her. I loved the way it went down. The whole storyline, everything. I have a Star Wars expert who I am trying to get onto the show. At some point, I will. You know who you are, Mr. Ortiz. Trying to get them on the show and have just a whole episode on Star Wars and everything associated with Star Wars. So I can't wait for that, and we'll see what happens. But everybody, stay safe, be good. Till next time, peace.